Hi everyone, today I'm going to take you through how to make use of cache and invalidate cache in Mule. Mule make use of Hazelcast, which is the built-in caching system available in Mule ESB. What I'm going to do here is create a custom caching provider, and I'm going to read the data from a property file and load it into the cache, and based on the condition I'm going to invalidate the cache or read the cache from the caching system. Now, to understand the flow here, what I've done is I have a HTTP flow which actually consumes my request. I have a choice router here which actually does two things. One, if the condition satisfies as 1, I'm just taking you through that. If the condition satisfies as 1, it will write to a cache, and if not, it will take you to read cache. So here in write cache, what I'm doing is I'm trying to load a property file using typical Java properties. I'm not using the template placeholder which is provided by Mule. I'm using a typical Java transformer, and I have written a Java class which is associated here, sample write class, which actually reads the property file. It is just reading the property file. We haven't got onto any caching till now. So it reads the property file, again logs the message just for my debugging purpose. Then I have a for each. So I'll just show you what is the property file which I'm using, that gives you more clarity on what I'm looking here. So here is the property file which I'm using, which is having 5 key value pair, test1 v49, test2 v3128. It's a typical key value pair. So what I'm doing is I want to take each one of these value, iterate it out of the property file, and push it into the caching system. So what I'm doing here is using a for each loop, and since the value which I'm reading out from a Java property, for example, if you check here, the one which I'm reading it out is an object, and this object is nothing but a typical hash map. So I want to iterate through a hash map and pass it one by one each value within this for loops flow. So for that I'm using a payload.entry set for under the collection field, and which makes it to iterate. And inside for each, the first thing what I'm doing is I'm taking the key from the payload, which is the hash map, and putting into a variable called key. The second thing what I'm doing is using an invalidate cache. Now invalidate cache is not a component, or I will make it much I'll put it in much better way. It's not a drag and drop component. So we have to put an entry in backend configuration XML, which I'm showing you here. We have it here. Invalidate cache strategy. So what I'm giving here is a name of the caching strategy and a key generator expression. Now when I say invalidate is nothing but removing the cache. So if I want to remove a cache, I need to refer a point from which I need to remove. So what I'm referring here is a key. So I'm telling I'm using the key to invalidate it. So the first thing what I'm doing here is, if an already value exists, I'm removing it before being written. So using invalidate cache, I'm taking the key which I took. For example, here I'm using test1, so it will take the test1, use it in the caching strategy, go to the caching strategy, remove the test1. That is the purpose of invalidate cache. Coming back to the flow, once I remove the key, or once I remove the entire entry based on the key, next I will do a caching. That means I'm refreshing the value. So whatever the key I'm having it right now, I'm going to enter it into the cache. So earlier value, what I'm doing here is like I'm doing an update. If it exists, I will update. If it doesn't exist, I will not update. So I will tell you in which case if it doesn't exist and how it is skipping the invalidate cache. Now in caching, now I'm giving a configuration here, caching strategy. Now if you go to edit tab, you can see the configuration which I have given, which is core, in memory, the store name as my store, and I'm giving the key. This is the key based on which the entry is happening. That means if it is test1, it is test1 as the key, and the value is going to be part of the cache, just like a hash map storage. So inside cache, if it is a new entry, cache knows that okay, if it's a new entry, he will make it. If it's not, it goes and logs a message with the value and the key, telling like it is all modified and it is setting a payload with value. Now, if you come to the second flow, which is a default flow where I'm keeping it as read cache. Now, this is a flow reference, and if you come down, you can very well see that how read cache is used. In read from cache, you can see a variable I have defined in which I am telling this is the key and for which I need the value. So when I pass this key, cache knows that if it is value is existing, it will not enter into the logger. Instead, it will take the value and pass it on to the next component. So now here, since there is no next component, it goes to the HTTP response block. I'll just run through this particular flow, and that which will give you clarity on how exactly this works. Coming here, I'm giving a value as 1, which means write to cache. Sending it, I have a hash value which I haven't properly mapped to the output, so I believe that value is getting cached. Now expected is if it's test1 b49, test2 b3218. Now I'm giving something called as SEQ number. I'm giving SEQ number as the input. That means from cache it should retrieve me 1888. Now before that, I'm going to Mule log console here. It can show you before cache is given as 1, and you can see the values which I'm printing here. So when I say before cache, it is making an entry into the cache. Now if you see the number of log printed here, it is for each iteration happened. Now when I am hitting it once again, that means when I am going to give the value as SEQ number, it is not going to go through this entire log because it's not going to the right cache. Second, it is not going to enter inside the cache. So I said that when you use a read cache, it will not get inside this logger, which actually supposed to print inside read cache. It will not print because already there is a value. So I'm just showing you how it has it. Yeah, we got 1888. If you see here, we have sequence number 1888 which we got. So if you go to the log here, you can see it didn't went through any of these logs. Instead, it print directly on read cache with directly reading that value. So it didn't even printed the inside cache because it doesn't want to enter, already the value is present. Now I want to update the value, and how will I ensure that the cache is reloaded? And exactly this is what I'm going to do here. I'm going to update it as 189 file. I'm saving it. Now if I don't reload, what will happen? It will print the old value, which is 188. I updated it to 189, but still it will print 188. See here. Now if you come back to this point, you can see the reload of cache happened once again. Entire thing has been, because it's a new value. Now what will I do? If I hit it one sequence number 18, this one, you have 189 printed. Hope you all like this session. Please let me know your comments. Thank you.